And why I'm saying this is because everybody will be affected. When we fought for this democracy, when I was young, when I was in the trade union, my group, Wike was nowhere to be found. These are people who benefited from this democracy because of relativity to time and space. Today, somebody like him is now seeing himself as the god of Nigeria. He can abuse anybody, he can say anything, he can talk anyhow. You heard what he said about a senator representing FCT, a woman that is 70. He has no respect. He said worse things against Odili and Justice Mary Odili. Now he's facing the woman. She wants us to be friends. The woman said, I have never met you. The nearest I met you was in the Senate committee, and you sat the other side of the table. Who would want to be a friend anyway? I will make sure that she doesn't return to... Who are you to decide whether Ireti will return as senator in FCT or not? It is the FCT voters that will decide that. Anyway, that day of election, you will be in Rivers fighting for your own presidential election. Abuja voters will decide who should go to the Senate, not you, Wike. You cannot decide that. You cannot decide that. You are too little to decide who will be senator in Abuja. Abuja voters, they know where to go. They may decide to change the rating not because of you. They may decide to return her, it's not because of you. So please, act with decorum and respect. We know you have deep pockets. And that's what the consequences, one of the consequences of it. When a young man gets into a place and there's too much money in his pocket, he can abuse his father, abuse his mother. Leave Rivers State alone. Mr. President, we should be careful with Rivers. It may consume us and this democracy. Take it to the bank. Now, on national minimum wage, I wish to congratulate the partners in negotiation, the Honorable Minister of State, Labour, what's the name of this woman? Kingibe, the NLC and TUC. They have shown patriotism. They have shown their love towards the country. It is left for the president to decide. But Mr. President, don't look at the advice coming that we cannot pay this or we cannot pay that. I'm going to address the issue of money we are spending to run government. Nigerian workers, apart from the military, are the most patriotic organization in this country. Because they're the people who create this wealth being squandered by politicians. So you should, Mr. President, look at that request with humility, with good heart. And for the workers, everything should not end up in salaries. I remember during President Babangida, when there was SAP, there was trouble like this that time. There are other things that could be done that will alleviate the sufferings of the workers. President Babangida gave 100 buses to Labour, 100 million naira to kickstart it. He registered LACON, Labour Bank. Those buses were distributed to all states of the Federation to ease transport for workers. And he went a long way to cushion the effect, of the structural adjustment program. We are talking of mass housing. When President Shehu Shagari was president, he built thousands of houses across the country, which they called Shagari Federal Housing Scheme. Those houses were owned by civil servants and workers. So what is the need of a worker? Housing, education for the children, health, transport to work, to make the money for you. So Labour should look at all these other options. Rather than every time we try to increase, I think we have to also consider that. So if Mr. President looks at it, he can adopt that Babangida style of providing buses, give it to the workers themselves, workers leaders. They know how to get it to the states. The states will operate it. at minimal cost, and maintain the buses. At a point, they pick workers to work and bring them back. So these are some of the things they have to consider. And we should not allow, Mr. President, another strike as a result of delay in taking a decision on the minimum wage. On cost of governance, I think President Tinubu should be called upon, and I hereby call upon him to sign an executive order to reduce what is earned by every elected official of government, from State House of Assembly to House of Rep to Senate, and every appointee of government. Slash it by 50%, so that we can have more money in the system. We cannot be paying these humongous amounts on a monthly basis, and we think that money is something that can fall from heaven. I think Mr. President should consider that option. Let us cut the cost of governance. We are not talking about it. It is important. A situation, a lawmaker will go with about 16 or 20 million naira a month, Mr. President. Is that justifiable in this society today? Cut it between 50% and 80%. And that was why I have always said, if you want to be a senator or a member of House of Rep, you don't have a house in Abuja, and you don't have means of transport when you come to Abuja, go and contest for state assembly in your state. We should not be paying for vehicles and for cars and for accommodation for people coming to serve us here. There are Nigerians who are ready and willing to serve pro bono without pay. And they will churn out the best laws for our country. If you don't have those things, don't come here. There are people seated there with respect. They have not even whistled since they came here. They cannot even move motion of adjournment. They just sat there. At times you see the place empty. At the end of the month, they go with 16, 20 million naira in this economy. But we cannot pay 100,000 naira to Nigerian worker. Mr. President, the time has come for you to take the hard decision. You have support in the opposition on this matter, and heaven will not fall. These are some of the few things I want to brief you today. Thank you very much.